Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join us in the beautiful lands of Scotland. But today we've come to a special location because today we're actually at the Kirriemuir Show, which is a local agricultural show here in the lands of Angus, in the lands that we usually explore. And Kirriemuir is actually an area I grew up, so it's cool to come to the local show and see what's around. And there's a cool show like vintage tractors, animals, new tractors and all sorts of stuff. So let's get into action, folks. Check this out, folks. We've found the coolest machine at the show so far. I had a quick walk around and I've not actually recorded it yet, so I thought I'll get the camera out and look at this. We actually saw this at Glam's Extravaganza, but let's have a closer look today. It's actually an old roller, like a road roller, rather than like a steam traction engine that would have been used in the fields and stuff. But look at this, the detail, the way things was built. Wow, so cool. I'm sure the gentleman actually said it was 1920s. I'm sure he also said it was like 18 ton. I just love it. Like, they took so much pride when they were constructing stuff back in the day. Look at that, each thing. It's got a wee oiling system there for the front bearings. And look at the steering with the chains. And look at the copper pipe work here. The brass work. Wow, what a machine, folks. And this is the driver's position right here. Wow, amazing. Anyway, let's take a walk around the rest of these machines. Check this out, folks. We've actually got a Nuffield here, and I do love Nuffields. And this is a cool one here because it's actually got the bar axle. But this is a common thing that was done back in the day when these were working tractors. They used to actually cut the bar axle off, because it has been known before, there was a farmer, he had two Nuffields, and when he was carting off one year, the two axles actually hit because they used to stick out so far, and it was a common thing. People would cut that off just to make the tractor narrower. Yeah, this one's a fine example of a Nuffield. I just love it. And then look at this grey Fergie. We've got such a cool range of tractors at the show today. And look, we saw this tractor as well. This has been built in memory of the gentleman on this sign here at the front. This is a 6-cylinder conversion in a Fordson Major. Built in memory of this gentleman because they had picked the engine up basically at like an auction or whatever, and they were saying it'd be so cool to put it in a tractor. But then sadly the gentleman passed away, so then the guy that's got the tractor now finished the project in memory, and that's why it's a special thing to see here at the show and to record on the video. It's not just a plain Fordson Major, it's got that unique whistle off the turbo. And I'll get a clip of that running. We'll get the whistle off the turbo in a wee while on the video. Look at this John Deere here, folks. Wow. I think my grandfather actually used to have an old John Deere in the woods at a certain time. And then not only is there the old vintage tractors at this show, also the classic tractor scene as well, which is so popular nowadays. A John Deere 2040S. And then from a similar era here, 5, 6, 10 Ford. Wow, this is so cool. Such a range of tractors at the show. It's amazing in each local area today. We go to a few of the shows over the years, and it's amazing to see the turnout at these little local shows. It's so cool for the local community to hear this. The scene of agriculture that carved and shaped these lands of Scotland. Look at the view from the Kirrie Showfield, looking over the Strathmore Valley that we've explored on so many previous videos. You know how it is, folks. If this is the first time you've watched a BKR video, then you could check out some of the other ones linked at the end of this one. You know how it is, folks. We're all about the action adventures on this channel. Let's take a walk up this way. I love these internationals as well. Quite often on these videos I just end up saying how much I love each tractor, but they've all got their own unique things that make them cool. Wow, folks. Look at this, here's an old Field Marshal, and I believe this is actually a Mark I Field Marshal, which is so cool. The noise off these is so unique. In the Glam's video I actually said I was looking at a Mark II Field Marshal, but it turns out it was a Mark III. Because apparently the engine used to actually turn the opposite direction on a Mark III compared to the Mark 1 and 2 Field Marshals. On one of these you're facing the back wheel when you're spinning the starting handle, whereas on a Mark III you're facing the other way spinning the handle. Look at this as well, this is cool. It's a Field Marshal crawler. Look at that, folks, that's when there was pride in the construction of British vehicles, machinery. Look at this one's got these cleats or whatever they're called on the tracks. Often that was to stop it shearing or sliding sideways in certain hilly environments. And look, we've got a Fordson Major here as well. So cool, folks. Let's keep on heading around this way. I didn't record as much of the vintage tractors at Glams, but that's why today we'll take a better look at these as we walk past. I'll try and record most of the tractors here. It's often just spontaneous at these shows, like what I actually record. Look at this, we've got a Farrier here, 6170 Dyna Shift, and then a 7840 New Holland, which we obviously love on the channel. This one's been restored to a fine order, painted up, and it looks super cool. Now look at this old case here is actually in original condition, which is quite popular nowadays. Now look, this one here is what it would look like if it was restored. They both look like a similar kind of tractor. This is obviously a smaller one, an 856, and this one here is a 956, and I think the XL was the one that had the fancy cab. You can see they've got like the tinted glass and stuff. Another cool thing with this show, people also bring like old vintage machines, like this old trailer here, a Massey trailer, and also this John Deere's got the classic John Deere baler on here. Look at this, we're passing by once again, folks, the turbo set up here on this Fordson Major. Look at it, it's such a cool unit, it's been so well done. Yeah, it's cool. You often struggle to fit some of these systems in, obviously, because of it's a non-standard engine in a unit, so it's amazing to see what's been done for a thing like this. A minute ago when I was taking a walk around here, obviously more folk came past, so I was just giving them time to walk away before I had a closer look at the turbo. Sometimes that's the thing at these shows, you just hate to kind of walk around respectfully of everybody else that's recording the stuff, or walking around it anyway. Yeah, it's a fair turnout of vintage vehicles, folks. And look, the steam engine's actually got some reek coming out the lum now, or smoke coming out of the chimney for the English spoken viewers. Look at this four-wheel drive Farrier, folks, and it's actually a Land Rover front axle. This is the same axle AKR's got on his Land Rover, so it's cool to see the way they would have made this into a four-wheel drive tractor originally. I'm sure it was a company that actually, from Kelso, that made this system right here. It says there, Geo Henderson, Agricultural Engineers. And that must have been their four-wheel drive system that they fitted to the Ferguson units. And then this one here is a Perkins conversion, Perkins P3 diesel engine, which is basically just half of what we've got in the P6. So it's cool to see. I love the wee Fergies like this. It's almost like original condition. It's kind of rough paint. There's wee bits being painted, but it still looks so cool. Yeah, I was just saying to him to fire up the tractor, but like he was saying, they'll scare the horses and stuff, which is fair enough. That's why we've not got the turbo tractor running at the moment. I'll go and take a look at this Davy Brown over here, an 880. I like the Davy Browns. This one's got a Duncan cab, which was fitted to a lot of tractors. We used to actually have the Duncan cab on the Power Major, but because it was so rattly and stuff on the way to the shows, we took it off basically. Yeah, this one's in original condition. It's cool to see them when the paint looks less. Obviously the Scottish weather takes its toll on old vintage vehicles and things if they're left sitting outside. One of the stalls at the show today, folks, look, CS tractors. They seem to have like rollers and stuff and other little pieces of farm equipment. It looks like some sort of feeding troughs and stuff like that. I'm going to head up now and look at the new tractors that's on display at today's show, and we're just going to do a lap right around, see what we can see. There's class tractors here, but also the New Hollands is here with Agricar, so we need to take a look at that. You know how it is on this channel, folks. We love the blue tractors. Also at this show, I think this case as well, AL Agri, and some other stands at the far side. Classic cars as well at this year's show, so yeah, let's see what we can see. Also look, we've got horses in the main ring kicking past right now. I'm not sure, I think they're getting judged by the people in the middle of the ring. Look at this folks, the Kirriemuir Show ring. Normally there's always an event going on all day in the ring, and I think later on even the vintage tractors and stuff make their way around the ring as well. Shout out if you're one of the people with a horse or some livestock at the show today. Look at this folks, at the side of the show there's actually a JCB. I'm not sure if that's the folk that actually set up the show or whatever. And then look, we've got NFU Mutual over here. They're probably setting up some insurance for the farmers. And that's actually who I've got my car insured with. They're actually a great insurance company to deal with. And yeah, that's all I can say folks. And then over here, look at this, we've got Class, which is Sellers. That's the name of the company. Oh, we've got a seed merchant here as well. RM Welsh and Sons, shout out seed merchants. It's good to see that they're dedicated to come to shows like this, the little local agricultural shows in the lands of Scotland here. And look at this, here's a Class tractor. Wow. Look at this unit folks, clean to the highest order. It's a 650 Arion. And then also this one's got the Lempkin 1 pass on the back. Check out folks, we'll just take a walk right around this unit. Quite cool to see. I like just walking around all the tractors, all the machines at these shows. And then look at this, it's got the straw bedder. I think you put your bales in a thing like this and then it churns it up and spits it out the spout into your cattle courts for bedding down the coos. And then they've got a telehandler here as well. Real action folks, we love a bit of machinery on this channel. For all your fencing needs folks, we've got United Box up here. I think they do like fence wire, posts and things like that. And then this is Agricar right here. Let's have a look at Agricar. Look at this folks, we've got a GT Bunning muck spreader right here, and it's a tidy machine. Let's take a look at it. It's a Lowlander Mark IV. Look, British made folks, that's what we look for on the machines these days. British made machinery here. Instead of buying in all the foreign machines, it's good to support what's made in this country. And yeah, fair old machine right here folks. Check this out, this is a special edition blue power tractor folks, and it's actually in Maserati blue instead of the standard New Holland blue. And then it also has these silver wheels. Just look at that, incredible. New Holland tractor folks, it is my favourite at the show. And it's my favourite new tractor at the show here as well that we've seen. And this one's also fitted out with the new screen, the new interior, all to the latest standards of global technology folks. New Holland is a forerunner in the technology of farming. And often things on tractors is way ahead of other technologies that's on cars and things like that. And pretty much nowadays in the field, the tractor will steer itself and do a lot of things itself, whereas at one time obviously things were so much more manual and mechanical. There's a lot more automated systems, and this one's completely like the hydraulic top link. And yeah, what a machine folks, what a machine. Look at this one folks, here we go. This is a 225 AC, which is auto command, fully variable transmission right there. Check this out folks, we've got an irrigator pump, green crop. Agricar does a full range of irrigation equipment, not only the pumps but also the rails and all other green crop equipment, pipes, lay flat, you name it, it's all there. And these green crop pumps are actually fitted with an FPT engine, which is a New Holland engine basically. It's fitted to a lot of things. You even get a little John Deere which also uses the New Holland engine, which a lot of people don't actually know. whereas you don't get any New Holland which uses a John Deere engine. So that shows the technology and the design teams at New Holland are doing their bit for the world. Even John Deere uses a New Holland engine, folks. Some of the little ones, that is, no the big ones. Look at this, folks. Agricar also does a full range of McConnell. This is a flail mower, and the McConnell stuff's good quality and affordable. Another thing that McConnell actually does is the hedge cutters. They've got a full range of them as well, large and small, all different purposes. Yeah, the McConnell stuff's really popular and pretty good. It's cool to see it here at the show as well. Look at this, folks. We can't forget a complete range of Cobra garden equipment. Lawnmowers, strimmers, hedge cutters, you name it. The Cobra does the full range of that, and it's a good display at the show. Look at this, we're in Norman F. Og stand right here, folks, and this is Marston trailers. When I was young, I used to love a Marston trailer. The build quality of the trailers is really good, and they're popular the world over, I believe, in farming. You obviously can get variations, different wheels, different bits and pieces to suit what you need in a trailer. And yeah, look at this fine specimen of a trailer right here. Yeah, look at the tip ram on this unit, folks. Single tip ram in the middle. I think it must be like a good few stages on that ram. A lot of those rams go up in stages, so you've got like maybe 8 different bits that slide out. Wow, amazing, folks. And then obviously they've got the mowers, and then that's like a stone grape as well, which goes on your front linkage. When you're doing certain jobs, you can just put the linkage down, pick up the stone, and continue on moving. We've got horses over at this side as well, getting walked round. Yeah, it's amazing. There's a fair amount of horses here at Kirriemuir Show, I would say. Like that whole area over there. And then down this side, look, we've got the case tractors. We'll take a wee look at this as we walk past. Look at this here, folks. It's a case telehandler. We saw a class telehandler up there. This is the second one of the show. Look at this here, folks. A case Maxim 150. Oh, look, this one's got the big side rails on it as well. Oh, that's actually loader brackets. I think the upright actually bolts into here. So that's maybe spec'd like to be loader ready, as you would say. And look at this one. This is a bigger one, a Puma 200. And then that one also comes complete with a fridge. I think that's like an air conditioned kind of fridge unit. Keeps your piece nice and cold till you're ready to eat it. Yeah, wow, it's amazing how farming technology moves on. There's often less space for all the modern systems that's fitted to them. Wow, I like taking a walk around the new tractors as well as the old ones at the shows. And it is amazing how technology's changed and adapted in farming. It's not so many years since a lot of that stuff was actually like if you think about the age of the Fords and Majors and stuff that we looked at in the old Internationals, that's no so long ago compared to when these modern things is built. And look at this here. I think this is, you put the bale into here, I believe, and then it spits it out using that rotor system. I think the bed of this turns to feed the bale into that, and then you can either pick it up from the end here with the forklift, or you can actually pick it up for the side, so it's like multi-purpose. And then there's a full range of pottinger equipment here as well, like a front hopper there for a 1 pass, I believe it is. Yeah, wow, good equipment, folks. Let's head on around and see what else we can see here at the show. So we actually saw this classic vehicle club, the Angus Classic Enthusiasts. We saw them at Glams in last week's video, but let's take a walk around and see what vehicles they've got here at the Kirriemuir Show. It's a cool mixture of cars. There's no many of those Vauxhalls on the road nowadays. Look at this Ford Orion here as well. Check this out, folks. Shout out Graham that I just spoke to here at the Angus Classic Enthusiast Club. I was just saying a walk around. I hadn't seen him for years, so it was good to see him. Look at this American car right here, a Chevrolet. Shout out all the American viewers that watch the video. It's cool to see stuff like this in Scotland. Look at this big Ford truck right here. An F-150. Pretty popular, I think, in America, but over here, rarely seen, hardly seen. Look at this thing at this side, it's a hot rod. V8 engine under the hood of that thing, it's super cool. Let's take a walk over here as well. I think there's a Humber over here, we'll have a look at it. We'll have a look at Graham's motor right here, folks. It's quite a cool colour. Certain colours go out and in a fashion over the years. Look at the interior, so cool. He's got the cassette tapes right there as well. That's a throwback. You don't see cars with cassette tapes hardly nowadays. It's a Humber Sceptre Mark III, 1972, folks. And it looks like it's a 1725cc 4-cylinder engine. But look at the styling. So cool. Amazing. And look, there's a heap of American cars here. Look, Ford Mustang. We'll have a look under the hood. He's got the airbrushing on there with the Mustang running. K&N air filter on top of there. Look at that unit as well. It looks like a Ford Pinto 2 litre with twin carbs on it right there. It's actually for sale this time. Wow, that would be a cool car, folks. I do love it. That's what we need for the channel, folks. A car with character like that. And that car's been restored so well. Wow. That shows you though, there's always cars for sale at these shows. We've seen a lot over the years, or over this year at Glams and stuff like that. If you just keep your eyes peeled, you can often pick up a classic, something with character like that, in such incredible condition. Let's take a look over here. Look at this. I think it's Dodge Challenger right here, folks. And look at Dodge Viper right here too. Wow, what a unit. Look how low down you sit inside that. Left-hand drive as well. It would be unusual driving on these roads in this country with that. Yeah, there's quite a lot of American cars here. Look at this Chevrolet right here, folks. Shout out all the Cletus McFarlane fans. This is the kind of thing he's ripping about in. Yeah, wow, it's quite cool in the red. It's a nice colour of red, that. And then we've got a truck over here, a Nissan truck behind it. So there we go, that's Angus Classic Enthusiasts. Check it out, folks, we're now around at the cows. And look at this, we've got a cow here with its cafe. Hello! They're obviously a bit wary. A lot of the livestock and stuff's no used to seeing a lot of humans walking past. But they look like some fine specimens of some Scottish beef right there. There is actually some mad rainstorms moving down the way here, and there is actually thunder and lightning forecast today, folks, so I'm not hanging about too long if that comes on. Look at this, folks, the cows is getting judged here, I think, or they've been judged. Mad scenes, folks. Action once again on the channel. Let's watch them getting walked around here. It's no happy, that one there, it looks a bit stubborn. Over the back here, folks, there's actually Highland cows in this pens. but it looks like there's no way of getting close to the actual fence to see them. I think I'll maybe head up the back of here and have a look, see if I can get actually a bit closer. Check it out, folks, we've actually got Highland cows down here. Look at them chewing their hay, and then there's more down this way as well. It's actually decent weather for the cows at the show today because it's not too hot like it has been the last couple of weeks. Kind of overcast. Cemental cattle. Look at that. I'm sure if it tried to run away it would take the fence with it. That's the one getting brought back in from the ring.
It seems to be going that way, but
it's cool to take it all in, folks. We're just taking our time to look at these cows as we go by. It's obviously a big part of the show here. The cows are getting judged. The best ones, obviously the prize winners, down to the judges' discretion on the day. And wow, look at this. There's more down here. Commercial cattle, it says here. There's no easy way of getting right down, obviously, to see them. But we've basically taken a walk right around the cow stalls, and I think the sheep as well. We'll go and take a look at the sheep. Look at these beasts, folks. These look like Texels, but I could be wrong. I'm not that up on sheep. Look at this one. It's got hay fever. Hello. That one's shy, look, camera shy. Oh, he's trying to wake up the other sheep. The other sheep was just chilling. Look at this one sleeping here. Yeah, Texels are one of my favourite type of sheep, and I think that's what that is at the end, but I couldn't tell you for these ones for sure. Yeah, wow, there's so many sheep. We'll take a walk right around the pen. Oh, there's actually sheep judging going on over here as well at the far side. Look at these ones, folks. Sometimes to actually see the sheep you need to have a right look down, or else you end up just looking at the top of its head. All these ones are sleeping, chilling out. They've probably been on the go, walking about. I'm not sure if they all get judged in the ring or just a couple of the special ones get taken into the main ring there to get judged. There's obviously different livestock rings and pens for the judging of each animal. Who have we got here? CM McEwen Limited, and look at that, they're really cool sheep. Shout out if that's your sheep. Wow, I've never actually seen ones like that. Amazing, folks. There's often rare breeds of certain animals as well. This is the sort of place you see them. No way, look at these things here. They've got big fluffy legs. Yeah, look at these rare looking beasts. Look at the horns on them. I'm obviously not going too close because I'm respectful of the livestock and the animals. I don't even want to flag it. If it starts jumping about and hitting the railing, then obviously people will be looking over thinking what is going on. Look at these ones. They're all just lying like they would be in a field if they were just chilling on a summer's day, eating the fresh Scottish grass out here. Oh, I can feel the rain coming. Look at the colour of the sky over behind me. We have been able to walk around a fair amount of stuff today though, so we've seen a lot on today's video. Basically, if the rain does come on and I need to bail out, it's not the end of the world. Look what we've got here. Look, South black-faced sheep right here. And look, these are all prize winners. See at this side, so many rosettes on all the stands. So I've just noticed a couple of times today the windsock keeps going over the lens because I've got an elastic band that I used to keep it away, but it's actually broken today, so that's how in a couple of the shots I just hope the windsock hasn't been popping up and going over the lens in any way. Anyway, I'll take a walk around. I think there's more horses here, but I think somewhere there's actually a blacksmith. There's a farrier here doing the horses' shoes, so it'd be cool to have a look at that as well on today's video. Check it out, folks, it's a big Clydesdale horse getting new shoes, and I'm pretty sure the gentleman that's shoeing the horse used to actually be for Kirriemuir Show. I mind him. I remember when I was in primary school, he went to the same primary school as me. Like, be a fair old animal there to be re-shoeing. You can see they've got the furnaces over here heating up the shoe and then shaping the shoe on the anvil, obviously to fit the foot of the horse. The farrier work, really important back in the days of Britain when horses were used for so much. All over the place. That would have been a main thing that would have been done, a main job, whereas now few and far between. Just think when horses were actually the main mode of transport, how much of a crucial job that would have been. It's cool to include it on today's video. It's quite cool that they've got this kind of like mobile setup where they can literally bring this to the show and show how it's done. And yeah, those Clydesdales are getting a special treat. A new pair of shoes, you know how that is, folks. They've got a wee bale of hay to keep them chilled out during the shoe fitting. Look at this, folks, there's another stand here and it's the coolest thing ever. Look at that, there's actually a little foal, little baby horse kicking about. I think they're getting paraded up and down here, maybe getting judged right now, these particular horses. But that one there's so cute to see the foal. Looks like it's not that old, because it's still that kind of skinny, weak looking way that they are when they're first born.
Today, the reserve champion with a gimmer is the Beltex from Brian Wiley.
Look at this, folks, the little foal here is kicking off in the ring. Well, it's still kicking off, it's just lively. This will be its first ever show experience right here. Now, as you can probably tell as well, the rain's actually come on now. I will try and wipe the lens. Yeah, they're actually really well behaved. If you think about how young that little foal is right there. Looks like it's a way to get cleaned up. Look, that one's getting white talcum powder put on its feet. A whole tub load of it. That must be something to do. AKR's a way to come around and meet me here as well, folks. That's how I'm kind of just hanging about at this area. The weather is so bad. Here he comes. Here's AKR, shout out. Alright, AKR. Look at this, the rain's come on, folks. We've now met AKR, but look, the horses have now come over to this side of the field. The foal's so cool. Wow, folks. The coolest animal we've seen at today's show. And so well behaved as well. Wow, yeah, the rain's on super heavy, isn't it, AKR?
It is. It's going to be fun.
Look what's happened, folks. It could be thunder and lightning. We don't want to get hit with lightning. I've been running most things though and recording most things, so it's been a cool wee adventure at the show. We've seen a few folk that we knew, and it's been cool to catch up with some people. We never heard the 6-cylinder Fordson running, but he wasn't wanting to scare the animals and stuff, and that's fair deals, because obviously he didn't want these young horses and stuff kicking off. Same with all the other animals, the sheep, cows, like you've seen, again, they're just kind of chilling. And I can't believe this weather, folks. Unreal. Look at this, folks. We've got some vintage engines here. Lister Junior. And look, a Masco high capacity jaw crusher for crushing stones. Powerful unit there, like, eh? And that's the sort of thing that crushes out of the big rocks, turns them into smaller rocks. And then here we've got a pillar drill, flat belt operated. A lot of these older machines operated on a flat canvas belt, just like the old farm machines of the era. And then this is a hacksaw here, which is still similar to the modern hacksaws that you get, except now they've got an electric motor on them. And then a Crossley engine, which is more rare. Yeah, look, that's a thing that transfers V-belt to flat belt drive. It's like an adapter device. Look at that, an old mill. That's probably what they would have had at the farm at a certain time, I believe. And is that no for, oh look, for bruising oats and animal feed? That's right enough. You still get bruisers to this day, but they're often like the size of that horse box. Massive things with a drawbar. Originally they were a wee thing like that. Inside there's basically two big rollers, well, little rollers in this case. And then there's a small gap between it that you can adjust, and then it just breaks your oats or whatever you're putting through it. So, because an animal can't digest the complete grains of the oats or the barley, that's why you break it and you bruise it. but also they would have sometimes added extra ingredients as well to help nutritionalise the cows or livestock. Now look at this here, this is actually a different blister engine here. We used to have one that the water went right in the top, but this one's got a wee radiator on it, which is cool. It's an F-type blister right here, 4 horsepower. So ours was a Lister D, and that must have been the difference between the D and the F that had changed the cooling system. And it's also got a bruiser, a type of bruiser on it as well. Most farms had a bruiser of sorts back in the day. Some farms nowadays just literally get somebody to come in and bruise their grain and barley and that for them. Look at that unusual engine right there. How do you pronounce that? Is that a Jouet, folks? 8 horsepower, 1940. What a wartime unit. The earlier Jouet stationary engine was thought to drive a fire pump during World War II. So that is interesting, folks. We love a bit of wartime history on the channel, and the rain has actually gone off at this moment. That's how I've continued the adventures. Check out, folks, we've got an MXR 500 generator right here on display. And then look, that must be arts and crafts within that tent there. I bet that was popping off a minute ago when the rain came on. That's the sort of place a lot of people head for, that area when the rain comes on. Look at this international W9 standard right here. That's a fine specimen of a tractor right there. Look, we've got somebody with a drone up above our heads. DJI Pro by the looks of things right there. Yeah, wow. It's real humid, even though it's been raining and stuff. It's like a humid wind moving in from this direction here, from the coastal area. And somebody was saying to us earlier there had been thunder and lightning about 45 minutes ago in the Montrose area. So yeah, wow. But it's been cool today to see the display of tractors and stuff like that. I was actually going to go over and look at the Field Marshal, because I found out the Field Marshal was actually the first tractor to have diff lock. A lot of people think it was like the Super Major or whatever, but the old Field Marshals had that back in the day. An early feature, or a cool feature of the Field Marshal that people don't even know it had. I thought I would include that wee detail in today's video. Sometimes you just find out little things about different machines, and if you don't include it in the video at that moment, you forget. So yeah, let's go and have a wee look at a Field Marshal, and we can see if we can actually see the linkage for that. Look at this Ferguson here, folks. Look, there's pictures of the full restoration.
Fantastic.
1943 Ferguson. Yeah, it almost looks like the rain, or it feels like the rain could come back on. It's one of these days, it's unpredictable. The minute you think you know what the weather's going to do, it just changes. So apparently people didn't realise that these Field Marshals had diff lock, but there's actually a lever goes up into the back end. You can hardly see it on this scene. This one's got a new cable on it by the looks of things. I'm pretty sure that's for the diff lock. And yeah, I love this tractor. I'm sure a few years ago at Kirriemuir Show I actually had a wee shot of this one steering it. You can go back at the older Kirriemuir Show videos and see that. And yeah, the interesting thing with this old Field Marshal, the driver's seat's actually to one side, which is unique. Wow, folks, yeah, that's so cool. Right, folks, that's been a madness. The rain's come back on, so me and AKR is heading for our cars. It's been a fun show. You can see the rain coming all the way around here. It's just like pure dark clouds and horrible conditions. So yeah, we've seen quite a lot though. We've been around basically everything at the show. And shout out all the people that we saw at today's show, catching up with folk we hadn't seen for a while. And shout out Donald as well. It was cool to see your tractor here at the show, and we'll probably catch up very soon. But anyway, I'm ending this one here, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye from me, goodbye from AKR, and we'll see you soon with the next adventure, wherever we end up going.